scab for the bosses, don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize. Which side are you on?
What's up?
What's up, you rat bastards?
So true. Hood rat shit.
Mm-hmm.
Did I have a beer around?
Yeah,
me?
you do. It's literally, it's behind the laptop, and it is like perfectly, luckily it wasn't open yet, but it was like perfectly tilted where it was on the verge of spilling all over the place.
Whoa.
But it wasn't. It was like suspended in air.
Damn.
If you guys could see it, you would have been like, it was crazy.
Yeah, that's next level
Yeah.
podcasting thrills right there. And
Describing the angle at which Taylor's beer was gently resting.
check this out.
Ooh.
What do you think of that?
Yeah.
That's the stuff.
Crisp. Crispy.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I'm drinking a lime lemongrass
Oh, yeah.
press.
That's who we're sponsored by today. And then we're sponsored by Brita Filter water that I got out of my fridge because I am too sleepy, and I think if I drink any alcohol, I will just fall asleep on the spot.
Mid-sentence, really. Just
Yeah.
mid-podcast sentence.
Yeah. So.
For sure. Well,
For
yeah,
sure.
this is Remarks.
It is.
We're a cast.
Mm-hmm. Pods are involved.
Mm-hmm.
Alien-filled pods.
Oh, yeah. Like Alien
Like-
versus Predator.
Those ones where it's like a weird like fetish thing of where
Oh, yeah.
you can like lay alien eggs or something, or like it lays alien eggs.
Isn't it like I'm a positor?
Oh yeah.
What's that? There's a name
It's
for
something like that. Yeah, like something depositor,
Yeah.
something like that with the positor
it.
suffix.
Justin would know.
Justin would know. Call him up. But we're not talking about alien egg kink devices today, are we?
Not
Maybe.
yet.
Maybe we will more.
Not
Who knows?
yet, are we?
We'll Google it over the break.
Yeah.
But
Oh, we will. I'll do it right now. I don't...
what we are going to talk to you about is something way more horrifying, which is the upcoming 2024 presidential candidates for the United States of America.
Yeah.
Woo!
Very excited. Only good things, really.
Oh yeah,
Only good
it's
things to
looking
report.
really good for us.
Yeah. Because it's like the sad thing is like we're gonna talk about all these terrible people, and like the only like saving grace we have is Joe Biden.
I know. I know.
Oh, we love it here.
Oh God,
we love it here.
Yeah, it's going well. So, what I have for you today is, while he's not technically a presidential candidate yet, pretty much every single person in the world is predicting that he is going to be running any day now. So, without further ado, I'm going to tell you about the wonderful, the gracious, the kind, the, like, you know, really bringing people together, Ron DeSantis.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a guy, man.
He's really been making a splash in the news lately, and also over the last like 3+ years. So yeah, he's a fun guy.
Ovipositors.
So if you have an alien egg laying kink, there you go.
Yeah, this is the
Ovipositors.
podcast for you.
For all our alien egg laying folks out there.
We have a really big like slice of our listener base that is like the alien egg fetish community. So
And we love you and we support you.
Yeah.
Get those
no shade,
ovipositors.
honestly, yeah.
Put those alien eggs up in you, and then subsequently make them come out of you.
Push them out. In various ways.
Yeah.
From various orifices.
Exactly.
Orify?
Whichever. Orify, if you will.
I don't know, yeah. I don't know what that is.
Orify. Keep talking about
Orifices?
orifices.
Anyway.
Oh, God. So, yeah, there's a handful of potential candidates ramping up their campaign trail. Each one might just be scarier than the last. So, yeah, and as there's been a few, like, predicted candidates as well, and Ron DeSantis, who is the current governor of Florida, has been a predicted 2024 candidate. And simply the mere concept of him is vomit-inducing.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard good things. I don't know too much.
Yeah.
But everything's been bad. Like,
really terrible.
Yeah. There's not even, like, any silver. I mean, maybe there is, but
Not from my research. Sorry. I'll spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. It's just not all good. Bad.
Yeah. So DeSantis attended Harvard Law. During his second year, he started turning towards a more naval path in his life. He joined the Navy, and through going through the Navy, he then became part of the JAG, which is the Navy Judge Advocate General Corps, which I don't know if you have heard of the JAG much at all, but they're pretty, it's like bad. They're not good. I don't know anything.
I mean, the Harvard is bad enough, and then going into apparently this thing that's bad.
Yeah. So he was in the Navy. He joined the JAG or JAG. If you've heard anything about them, it's never good. So that's fun.
And again, don't trust anyone who's gone to Harvard.
No.
Ever.
No.
It's not a good idea.
Or anyone who joins the Navy, really.
Or just anyone.
Yeah. Don't ever trust anyone, frankly.
Yeah.
The real fun part of his naval career, however, though, was that he, once sort of making his way through the ranks from, lieutenant from lieutenant, junior grade to lieutenant.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. I don't know how this rank and shit works, but whatever. He then became stationed at Joint Task Force Guantanamo, also known as JTF GTMO.
Guantanamo Bay?
The very one.
The one itself? The one where we did all the torture and the war crimes?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's like my favorite bay.
The bay itself.
Wow.
And he was working directly with detainees at Guantanamo Bay. While there, one of his special things his main thing that he was overseeing was the force feedings of detainees.
The force. Oh, okay. So
yes.
Yeah, no.
So starting off, before he's even begun his political career, really, he's just a top-notch 10 out of 10 guy.
Yeah, no, for sure. No war crimes here.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
No.
Not that I'm about to go discuss in detail. So according to a Washington Post article, this is kind of how it went down. So, quote, ultimately, it was the Pentagon's decision to authorize force feeding. Detainees were strapped... before I get into this, obviously content warning for me describing force feeding.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So skip ahead if you don't want to hear
war
that.
crimes and
bad.
Torture. So
it's really terrible.
Yeah.
Detainees were strapped into a chair and a lubricated tube was stuffed down their nose so a nurse could pour down 2 cans of a protein drink, according to military records. The detainee's lawyer tried and failed to stop the painful practice, arguing that it violated international torture conventions. DeSantis had an... It sure does.
Sounds like it would.
Fully does, yeah. DeSantis had an up-close view of some of the most disturbing incidents at the detention camp during one of its most violent years, according to a review by the Washington Post of public records, media reports, and dozens of interviews, including with DeSantis' commanding officer, the prison warden, other base officials, former detainees, and defense lawyers. So pretty much every single person involved in Guantanamo Bay is saying DeSantis was there for basically the worst and most horrible years of Guantanamo Bay and was the one who was having face-to-face interactions with these detainees, making or watching these horrible things happen to them and saying, yes, let's do that more.
Yeah, and I just feel like whenever there's a situation where someone is around torture and then is just fine afterwards, we shouldn't allow that person to have power.
Absolutely not.
If you're not deeply traumatized and scarred by the torturing of other human beings, maybe you shouldn't make country or decisions that affect millions of people, billions of people if you're the fucking president of the United States lives. Just a thought.
Yeah, just a little thing to throw out there. But yeah, I think if you are not I think that just means that you are you have no capability of experiencing empathy or anything like that.
True.
And I don't think that you then can make decisions for anyone. Anyway, so horrible person already. Just when elected to Congress in 2013, Ron was a loud voice advocating for the continued use of Guantanamo Bay.
Good.
Yeah. Joe Biden, having failed to close Guantanamo due to opposition from Congress, leaves the fate of the prison in the hands of the next elected president, which obviously, if that is DeSantis, we will continue to be torturing people in Cuba.
I love like the idea of him being like his glory high school days were like torturing people in Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah,
like
that was like his
Jesus Christ.
Second year? So that was his
second year,
sophomore year of college.
Oh shit!
Junior year? What is your second year of college?
That'd be
called?
sophomore.
His sophomore year of college was like fucking going out with the bros in Guantanamo Bay, and then like getting up hungover and like force feeding someone the next day.
Yeah, I mean we've all been there, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. College gets wild.
Wild times. DeSantis was elected as the Florida representative in 2013 and continued his campaign of torture in a fun new way. He signed a pledge by Americans for Prosperity, a libertarian conservative group funded by the Koch brothers.
Ah, our favorite here.
Yeah, which it's like, wow, what
a Koch brothers episode.
We should really because I feel like we've mentioned them a lot and like given little sprinkles of details, but we should do like an overall.
Like the fucking definition of like crony like businessmen, like mustache twirling, like
literally with the like monocle.
I mean Monopoly.
I feel like they are like akin to the Dulles brothers in that they're also like this two brothers who ruined everything for everyone in America.
Made everything terrible. Like
and you can like go down the path. Like I feel like they're there for so many things, such as the Dulles brothers, where it's like you're going down this path of like, why does this thing suck so bad? And it's like the Koch brothers.
The Koch brothers. Yeah,
there they are.
It's like a you can count on like both your hands the amount of people that like influenced the system to be as fucked up as it is.
Right, and that's like God, that's one of the worst parts is that it's like, you know, 7 dudes who just were like, let's make this shitty for everyone.
Like, we want to be rich and we want everyone else to not be and also suffer. So,
which it's like, you can definitely look at the Koch brothers, Dulles brothers, Ronald Reagan is a huge one.
Nixon.
Fucking,
what's his fucking name? Roger Stone.
Oh,
and the other motherfucker who's was in
not
prison.
Dead yet.
Oh, what's his name? Fuck. I can't think of it.
He's
honestly.
the one that we always
yeah. Fuck, dude.
Joke about.
He's like, he did the same things that Roger Stone did.
Yeah.
I don't know. Manahue? No.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm
whatever. And then who's the other one? Who's who's like, everyone's always like, when is this fucker gonna die?
I mean Mitch McConnell.
No, but yes.
Oh, Henry Kissinger.
Thank you.
Yeah, Henry Kissinger did fuck everything up.
Thank you. Yes, that's the one.
Yeah. when is this motherfucker gonna die?
Okay, quickly though. How the fuck? The man, it looks like a rotting corpse of a turtle. Like, he is so close to the brink of death. I swear to God, it's like he's halfway behind the veil. Like,
true. He has no business continuing.
I don't understand.
It's like, I just feel like there's like these old dudes that never die and they're terrible. Like, it's like the evil like fuels them.
No,
you know?
it's true.
Because they always end up living till they're like 97.
Yeah, and it's just
shit.
like the hatred and the evil inside of them, just like somehow it's like Voldemort or something. Like they just
exactly.
can't fucking
they
die.
Got Horcruxes. Henry Kissinger has 7 Horcruxes.
They do.
And one of them was probably Richard Nixon, so that one's gone.
Yeah.
And the other one was probably Mao, because he was like homies with Mao.
Oh yeah.
Like, weirdly enough,
it's weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
find Henry Kissinger's Horcruxes so we can destroy him.
Please, we need to be done with this guy. My God. Anyway, so DeSantis is elected as Florida House of Representative in 2013, and he signs a pledge by Americans for Prosperity, which is a libertarian conservative group funded by the Koch brothers, which is how we got all on that whole thing. And in this pledge, he vowed to oppose any legislation that would raise taxes in an effort to fight climate change.
In an effort? Oh my God.
So any legislation that would go to raise taxes to fight climate change, he will vote against.
Oppose indefinitely.
Yes.
Yeah, I love
He signed a pledge saying, I promise. Don't worry, I will not do single thing to save the planet.
Don't worry, I don't give a single fuck about your planet.
At all. In 2015, Ron helped to fund the Freedom Caucus, which is a group of the most Republicans you could ever find, aiming to do the most Republican things that you could ever do.
Love that.
It's really good. One of the aims of the Freedom Caucus was to move the Republican Party further to the right, somehow.
Of course.
So
it's like, just admit that you want to be Nazis.
Yeah,
you know?
So just fascism. It's just fascism.
Let it be. I don't know. Pretending like you're not.
Right. Yeah. It's like, oh, it's just fiscal conservatism, and it's like, no, you just want Nazism to be a thing again, and it's okay. You can just say, well, it's not okay at all, but
yeah, no. But I would rather you say it is the thing, because that's like the thing that frustrates me is it's like. We know what you're doing, at least like we do.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like the average person probably doesn't, but like, just fucking say it. I know.
Which it gets worse. It gets worse into that whole like you're saying it, but you're not saying it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
saying the loud part quietly or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. According to Mick Mulvaney, who was another founding member of the Freedom Caucus, he says, quote, "That was the first time we got together and decided we were a group and not just a bunch of pissed off guys."
Okay, man.
Well said, Mick.
So you got a book club and you're like, we're a group. Like, I don't know.
It's like
you got a Facebook page.
We're all really mad and angry, so now we're gonna make a group about it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, guys.
Cool, man.
Yeah, it's like that's how you're going to describe this like political group that you made. We're just a bunch of pissed off guys. Okay. During the campaign cycle and the subsequent election of Donald Trump, the Freedom Caucus was, of course, a major supporter of Trump, and during the first impeachment served as a major defender of Trump. In the first impeachment.
Yeah. Okay, let's be clear.
In 2017, the Freedom Caucus was against the American Health Care Act, holding the position that it was too similar to the Affordable Care Act and therefore didn't punish poor people enough.
Yeah, and that's always the thing is like, you say that people should have fucking health care, should be able to go to the doctor, and Republicans are up in arms because they're like, they didn't work hard enough to go to the doctor.
To be able to get health care to not die.
It's so fucking frustrating. I'm sorry
crazy.
we're going on a million tangents already.
No, I mean, it's fine.
But I was telling secret side character Eden the other day, I was like, it's so frustrating that people are so worried about like, oh, people are going to be lazy under welfare and all this stuff. And it's like, I don't give a fuck if you're lazy. I still think you deserve to go to the doctor.
Right.
Like you cannot work a day in your goddamn life.
Yes.
And I'd be like, yes, please go to the doctor.
Like, you are a living creature, then you deserve to receive medical care.
Exactly. You deserve food, water, shelter,
It's
and
like,
to go to the doctor.
Oh my God, there are people that go around like fucking the Dawn dish commercial where it's like, do you think that duck has worked hard to get the oil scrubbed off it? I don't know, probably not.
Probably not.
It's just
a duck.
Sat around being a duck, but it doesn't deserve to die, just like every single fucking human being. My God, it's insane.
Stupid.
And I'm also like, what is it? What is your obsession with like other people working hard? Like, oh my God, you are the saddest individual ever. Like, you grinded and grizzled your whole life, and now you're like this sad, battered old man who can barely fucking walk because you had to do like physical labor your whole life, and you want everyone else to like suffer like that?
Exactly. That's the thing is you're like, oh, I've talked to a lot of people that are like that. They're like, well, I had to work 3 jobs to put myself through college, and sometimes I had to pick between paying rent and buying food, and it's like, but should everybody have to do that?
Yeah, it's like that
that's
sucks.
shitty. Like, that's fucking awful.
It's like, yeah, a lot of us have also had to struggle in that way, and like, I hope that nobody else ever fucking does. Oh my God, I hope they cancel student loans, even if like some people, you know, still had to pay off all of their student loans. I still hope that student loans get canceled. Like,
for sure, it's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh my God. Yeah. Right. Affordable Health Care Act. And so this caused a slight rift in the Trump/Freedom Caucus relationship because the AHCA was actually Trump's policy. Which it's like hilarious because he just like changed a couple of things because he was so against the Affordable Care Act when Obama was president, so he like basically just took that and changed a few things to be like, look, I'm coming up with this new thing, and the Freedom Caucus was like, how dare you?
Trump passed more fucking gun control laws than Obama did, you know, like,
it's true.
But it's not the narrative, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, but the two soon ended their lovers' quarrel when the group defended Trump through all of his legal battles. And as I said, particularly, I know, isn't that nice? Don't you love like a story where they come back together? Just
they had a
warms your
rift,
heart.
but they made it through.
Yeah.
So then they could continue to make people's lives bad.
Yeah. Aww. Sometimes when I'm watching rom-coms, if I'm in a particularly very emotional state, I have a hard time even watching just like simple rom-coms because I know there's always going to be a part where they like fight and have a thing.
Yeah.
And they're going to like break up or like have like a hard time for a minute and it makes me too sad. And so then I just have to watch like, I don't know, Phineas and Ferb or something. Like just 100% wholesome. Like I can't handle any sort of like anything that's slightly sad.
Oh, I get that. That's why I love cartoons, because like the sadness of normal like drama TV shows is like sometimes it's too much for my mental
even
health.
In like sitcoms, sometimes in sitcoms it's like too much. Like I'm just like, do something, just be nice.
It's just the wholesomeness is missing from like adulthood. Adult shows, I guess. I don't know.
Like I just want something where literally nothing bad happens.
Exactly.
Anyway. Elected as governor of Florida in 2018, Ron continued down his path of destruction. During the COVID-19 outbreak in 2020, DeSantis opposed lockdowns on school and businesses, opposed mask mandates and vaccine mandates. In a speech just this February, Ron details his thoughts on the pandemic, and it is, oh boy. Quote, when the world went mad, when common sense suddenly became an uncommon virtue, Florida stood as a refuge of sanity, a citadel of freedom for people throughout the United States and indeed throughout the world. We refused to let our state descend into some type of Faucian dystopia where people's rights were curtailed and their livelihoods were destroyed.
Oh my God. A citadel of freedom.
A citadel of freedom. Jesus Christ.
That is what I always think when I think Florida. I'm like, you know what? Citadel of freedom right there.
Uh-huh.
The freedom to go to a liquor store.
Yes.
And buy 3 like 40s. Mm-hmm. Drink them all at said liquor store, and then like I don't know,
go buy a gun,
go buy a gun and rob the liquor store that you just bought those from to get your money back to go to another liquor store and do the same thing. That's the kind of freedom that you can only get in the great state of Florida.
Yeah, that is the
Sunshine State,
Florida brand freedom right there.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah, truly magical. You know what else is a citadel of freedom?
I'm guessing it's the break we're about to take.
Because during this break, you are free to do whatever you want. And if that means robbing the nearby liquor store for 40s that you just barely bought, I have no choice but to support you because this is a citadel of freedom.
Truly. Yeah, no, and honestly, and I was telling Phoebe, I will represent you in court.
Yeah.
I will be your lawyer.
Yeah.
True.
I want to sue people. I won't get into it, but
I am a bastion of the law.
Yes.
I am practicing currently. I haven't passed the bar. That's because I don't believe.
And I feel like that's
bars.
fine. I think the bar is like overrated anyway.
Who needs it?
Like, do you need a barred lawyer, really?
Really? Like,
I don't
why?
think so.
You can represent yourself. You can have whoever you want represent
that's right.
you. Yeah,
that's right.
Let me represent you.
Hire Taylor,
and I will get you probably a better sentence. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who's to say?
Yeah, I think you're really good at arguing. So
yeah, no, for sure.
You know. Anyway.
We're back.
Hi.
So back.
Baby back ribs.
True. I, for one, had a great time robbing that liquor store for 4 40s. And then, well, no, I bought the 40s. Then I robbed the liquor store.
Yeah.
To get my money back. Mm-hmm. And then it's kind of weird, too, because you'll be, like, robbing the liquor store, and you're like, I need $12.77. And they're like, that's all you want? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
And then they just give me that back, and then I just go to another liquor store, and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's
the circle of
working
life.
out for me so far.
Yeah.
So, I can't complain.
Because, like, a crime of, robbing somebody at gunpoint, but only for, like, $12.75 is, like, not enough to really do anything about it.
Yeah.
So they just kind of keep they're like, he's really harmless.
Yeah, because they're like, I mean, it's not even that big of a dent in, like, their profits. You know? And then also it's like the gun, it's not really a gun that I'm robbing it with. It's like an airsoft gun.
Yeah.
It's a Nerf gun.
Like Taylor would never. It's Nerf or nothing with Taylor.
Exactly. That's what I've always said.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So, all right. So DeSantis, he's gone off the fucking rails during the pandemic. Gave this whole speech about how the world is going to become a Faucian dystopia.
I said that, and I say that often.
And it is. What did they call it? The Fauci ouchie. I hate that so much.
Did. And,
I hate it so much.
And then Kid Rock said "fuck Fauci" in his song "We the People."
Oh my god, that song!
And
it's so much.
The other day, I was with again secret side character Eden, and they were listening to "All Summer Long" by Kid Rock,
Holy
and
shit.
like it's fine, like do some Kid Rock songs, bop, maybe potentially.
Ba with ba.
Ba with ba. You can't lie. It kind of bops.
Fight anybody on that.
But like, and like me being the person I am, like I was like, Kid Rock kind of sucks, and they were like, don't tell us, like don't say
don't
it.
Tell us.
I don't ruin this for us. And I was like, okay, that's totally fine.
Oh god. So, in this same speech, DeSantis claimed that the Democrats had been, quote, infected with a woke mind virus, and he spoke out about, quote, wokeism.
Of course.
DeSantis is one of the many Republicans that are attempting to take the world anti-woke, if you will. Ron is infamously known for his "Don't Say Gay" bill. And here's a quote from the New Yorker about what this is.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Yes. The "Don't Say Gay" bill, quote, prohibits schools from teaching anything about sexual orientation and gender identity to students below 3rd grade. Demands that any such instruction at any age follow requirements to be set out by the state's Board of Education. Makes parental permission a prerequisite for a range of mental health counseling and interventions, and
Cool.
gives parent groups broad latitude to sue school districts if they believe teachers or administrators are not complying.
That's really cool because I
Yes.
know that there's definitely gay kids that are like coming out to their trusted teachers who are potentially one of the only people they can trust, and these gay teachers are now being held legally liable if they don't tell parents about their kid being gay and rat this kid out, who's probably going to get thrown in fucking conversion therapy.
Yep.
Oh, yes. No.
Yeah.
God bless
And
America, dude.
Truly. Land of the free. Something that really strikes me about this bill is the sneaky psychology behind it, that I feel like many political leaders have used this same kind of psychology in the past. Because it's like, truly, how many kindergarten to 3rd grade classes are actually discussing gender identity and sexual orientation? And like, not in a nefarious way, not like they're like purposefully ousting these subjects, but just simply because they're focused on like actual K through 12 curriculum. Basic reading comprehension, numbers, shapes, simple arithmetic, etc., etc.
Truly, the most that you ever see in those classrooms is like a book about families that has like a family
one
with
picture.
2 dads or something.
Exactly,
Like that's the
exactly.
extent of what they're talking about, like
Right.
sexuality to these kids.
That's exactly. And this bill is just like clear fear-mongering designed to make conservative parents believe that their like single-digit age children are in woke school learning the pronoun alphabet and like drag queen algebra and fucking whatever.
That is some algebra I would be interested in
Me
learning.
too.
Yeah.
Honestly.
X equals slay.
Solve for snatched.
Solve for snatched.
When actuality all this does is put LGBTQ teachers at risk if they, have a photo of them and their fucking partner up. It puts, or, somebody, God forbid somebody finds out that this teacher is trans or something. It puts students with LGBTQ parents at risk because if these kids are like bringing up their parents in school and then the teacher is like, oh yeah, Michaela has 2 dads and it's totally normal, then they're in trouble. It ruins the possibility of teaching tolerance in a healthy way to children at a young age by simply just like introducing the concept of the fact that like some people are fucking gay or trans or whatever and it's like literally fine and does not affect you. And you know, not in like a crazy way of like, hey kids, you too could question your gender, which actually that's not crazy. I rescind that statement.
Yeah.
But not even in a like way of like trying to tell these kids, you know, anything, just being like, hey, this kind of person exists and it's literally
this is
fine.
real.
Anyway, yeah.
Well, and especially because like they already teach a lot of that stuff, like, you know, diversity and accepting people for who they are, just like about other things, right?
Right.
You know, you'll see schools that teach that, you know, like, I don't know, a lot of like schools don't say like firemen anymore. They say like firefighter because like women can be firefighters too.
Right.
And the same with like race. They're like, oh, like some people have darker skin and that's totally fine.
Yeah, disabilities.
The same shit. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Disabilities.
It's just literally the same, like, people are different than you and it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The other sneaky part of this bill is the bit about needing parental permission to receive mental health counseling. This would mean that these young children have literally nowhere to go but their parents to handle any sort of mental health related issues. And that includes if the parents themselves are the issue. And so this creates obvious problems for children seeking refuge from parents who are like abusive or negligent or anything like that.
Yep.
Because they're not allowed to fucking go to their school counselor and be like, hey, I am having a bad home life, because you have to approve it through the parent. And of course the parent providing the bad home life is going to be like, no, everything's fine.
Yeah. Kids just have no rights in our country.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
Absolutely unhinged how until you are 18 years old, you have no autonomy over yourself.
Yeah, straight up. It's insane. And like, yeah, kids need guidance and everything, but also kids should be able to like speak their feelings. I don't know. Exactly.
Yeah, they should be able to tell somebody when like shit is bad.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. And it should be easier. Oh my God. Like, oh my God. Even when you are in a state where you're allowed to talk to a counselor, you know, whenever you want or whatever, it's still not easy, or like you still don't, nobody's sitting there telling you like, hey, we have these counselors that you can talk to make sure that everything's fucking fine in your life. Like,
true.
My God, if it was easier, we could help so many children. I hate everything. Anyway, DeSantis was also, of course, a huge opposer of critical race theory. Surprise, surprise. And has used this as fear-mongering to somehow pass a bill to ban books.
Oh, yeah. The fucking...
Sorry, my dog just, like, flopped over. Are you okay? Did you just fall off your bed for no reason? Okay, she's fine.
Oh, Tonks.
Yeah, the banning books thing. And then he denied that books were being removed from schools, despite that there was literally video evidence.
Yeah, I heard about all the fucking banning book shit. Like, that was, it was a hot Twitter topic for a sec.
Yeah. And it was literally like these videos, there was like 2 books left in the entire fucking library. It's like, what is the parameters here for making sure that like a book can be in the library? Oh my God.
So it's fucking moral panic shit that like,
it absolutely
they did it over fucking Catcher in the Rye. I remember like that was a whole thing, you know, like it's just everything. I don't know.
And so I have a quote from glad.com, GLAAD. Quote, DeSantis, quote, falsely claimed that books were not being banned in Florida despite video evidence showing empty bookshelves, guidance to librarians to not shelve certain books, and statements from school districts noting that they are removing books with LGBTQ themes or about people of color. Simply just books that are about a person of color, including a book about Roberto Clemente, to, quote, to comply with Florida laws on library books. PEN America said the Clemente book is one of 176 pulled by Duval County Public Schools since last year, including 2 books about Japanese internment camps, about Henry Aaron, and the book My Two Dads and Me. So we're removing books. So it's like, I don't know, they could have like fucking Obama's memoir or something, and that's banned because he is a person of color. We're taking away books about Japanese internment camps, which is the literal history of how our country is not a good place.
True. You want to talk about erasing history.
Straight up. And it's like, oh my God, this whole thing made me so crazy because I was like, you know, it's not like, first of all, third grade kids aren't really being taught about the Japanese maybe, but in a very light kind of way.
Oh, yeah.
But the whole point of these books being in a library is that kids can go and like explore on their own and find things on their own and themselves. And even if it's material that's a little, quote, too mature, even though whatever, like that they might find scary or whatever, then that's why you have counselors or parents or teachers so you can go, hey, I found this thing and it's kind of scary, and the teacher can go, yes it is, and here's the reasons why, but it's okay because of whatever. Like, oh my god, kids are allowed to discover things on their own.
Especially because a lot of these motherfuckers too would be like, yeah, go read the Bible, and it's like the Bible has like slavery and like
rape and horrible shit,
like whole nations getting wiped out by other armies and shit. Like it's fucked up shit in the Bible. It's like like you're okay with that because I don't know, God, but you're like not okay with a book about Japanese internment camps, a thing that we did, a thing that happened. I don't know, like it's fucking crazy.
And then you're gonna turn around and take your kid to like fucking an NRA meeting, and the Proud Boys are there, and you're like, no, this is fine.
This is good. It's the drag queens reading fucking Rainbow Fish or whatever. That's the problem.
Yeah. Anyway, and here's just a few more of DeSantis's like path of fucking destruction, also from glad.com. He took down a Department of Education website that supplied educators, parents, and students with anti-bullying resources.
Cool.
Are you kidding me?
What the fuck?
Dude. The page featured links to federal government anti-bullying initiatives, information on creating safe spaces for LGBTQ young people to receive support from school staff, and additional information from national leaders in combating mental health crises and suicidality among LGBTQ students. So cool. That's great.
Wonderful. Yeah.
He signed a restrictive transgender youth sports ban into law on the first day of LGBTQ Pride Month. Fucking asshole. The law bans transgender girls and women in public secondary schools and colleges in Florida from participating on the girls and women's sports teams. He vetoed all funding for LGBTQ programs from the $101 billion state budget, including $150,000 for mental health programming to support survivors of the Pulse Massacre and $750,000 to house homeless LGBTQ children, as well as funds for Orlando's LGBTQ Community Center. The veto came during Pride Month and just days before the 5th anniversary of the 2016 mass shooting at the Pulse nightclub, one of the worst in United States history, which targeted Central Florida's LGBTQ and Latinx communities.
Asshole.
Just like, I don't have words.
Next level evil.
Yeah, truly, like indescribably an evil thing to do.
It's just like spiteful. Like he just is doing it purely out of spite. It feels like.
Just because he's like fucking mad at gay people. Literally vetoed all funding for LGBTQ programs, which I'm just like how is that even allowed?
Yeah, who's stopping this?
Oh my god. Okay, one more for you. He signed an anti-discrimination order for state employees that excludes protections for LGBTQ people. Signed just hours after DeSantis was sworn into office, the order pledges that his administration will prohibit discrimination in employment based on age, race, sex, color, religion, national origin, or marital status or disability for government employees or contractors. The order does not include protections based on sexual orientation or gender identity.
Well.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like he literally is just like singling out LGBTQ people because he's homophobic piece of shit. Yeah. So clearly DeSantis is a dangerous Alex Jones pilled fascist who is going to attempt to remove any sort of protections for more marginalized groups and return America to like a 1950s, if not like worse era of operation. And should he actually go forth with his campaign, we have the integrity of Guantanamo Bay to look forward to, anti-trans and anti-LGBTQ bills to look forward to, and the complete removal of the mention of anyone not white in our history classes to look forward to.
Good.
Yay.
Fun.
Yeah. So, stay tuned, folks.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I hope he's president.
No.
That would be really
surely.
Good.
Yeah.
Painful. Anyway, take a breath. I'm gonna chug this beer now.
Yeah,
I need
please
it.
do.
Need a fucking cigarette. And we'll be back.
We'll be
in
back,
a little
everyone.
Break.
Empty break.
Wowie. We are incredibly back.
Whoop. T-do.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because you were just telling me that you were the second gunman on the grassy knoll. You murdered JFK. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was there, and I did do it.
That's wild. Yeah,
I just held it inside for so long that it feels good to just say it now. I feel like it's been long enough. People don't really care anymore about conspiracies about who killed JFK. Like, nobody really cares about that.
No one really cares. And also, I mean, I just gotta
didn't
say,
talk about it.
Yeah, I just gotta say, it's crazy how because like that means that you're like at least like 60 years old.
Yes.
And so like your skincare.
Thank you.
Yeah, you look amazing
it's
for
Korean.
that. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that makes sense.
It's
I've heard that's the best.
Soko Glam. They have good shit. And
I've heard actually.
Yeah,
in all
truly, actually, and like being genuine, Soko Glam rocks. They have great shit.
I need to get some of their stuff.
There's this like, which now that I'm thinking about it, it's probably super not vegan at all. However, previous to my vegan life, when I was living with my parents for a little bit, my mom would do the Soko Glam, and she had this one called like Snail Bee, and it was like snail goo with like bee goo in some way
interesting
mixed together, and you put it on your face, and it made my face feel and look fucking incredible.
Damn.
Let me tell you. But yeah, thinking about it now, I feel like it probably was very bad for the bees and also the snails.
Yeah, no, that would make sense.
So
yeah.
sorry to the bees and the snails, and I will not be using that product anymore.
I used to eat a lot of meat, so
yeah, I mean, me too. Man, my skin felt real good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, so yeah, we're talking about presidential candidates who are running for election against Joe Bisley next year.
Mm-hmm. Do we have... Never mind. No, you go, actually. I was about to interrupt you, and then I realized you probably were going to answer my question. So go, do it.
I did a little deep dive into one of the candidates named Nikki Haley.
Woo woo.
On February 14th, Nikki Haley announced her plan to run for president with a campaign video, and she would be the first woman of color to be a major candidate for the Republican nominee. Mm-hmm. A little bit interesting that that's the case.
Yep.
Wonder why.
Yep. Really, though.
Yeah. In a campaign video, she stated that she was raised in between the black and the white communities in South Carolina because she is of Indian heritage, but she never let that stand in the way of her finding the similarities between different groups of people. She also weirdly defends the principles that America was found on, she defends the principles that America was founded on, air quotes there, while bashing China for committing genocides and Iran for killing anyone against the government, which is like, yeah, fuck those places and those governments, but let's not forget that America has also done those things.
Yeah. America's like the father of genocide and killing people.
We kind of like invented the playbook, really.
We really did.
Again, yeah, it's crazy. Look up how the Nazis were inspired by the oppressiveness of America towards black people.
Yeah.
It's crazy. She then goes on to say how when there was the famous Charleston church shooting in South Carolina, which is her home state, the people turned away from fear and towards God to get through the difficult time. And then, of course, states that the socialist left is trying to rewrite history to push their agenda.
No, of course.
Yeah, of course. Why
it's always, you know, the socialist left or the communist left or the wokest.
The woke mobs,
the
woke
mob.
cultural Marxists.
Oh, that's the one.
Yeah,
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was all just right in her like video drop for running for president.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, all that jazz.
Wow.
Nikki Haley was the 116th governor of South Carolina and graduated from college with a degree in accounting. She was first elected in 2004 and served 3 terms as the representative in the House. She was then elected as the first female governor of South Carolina, as well as the first female of color to be elected as governor. So she was breaking a lot of, doing a lot of firsts there. Which again, Weird that she was the first female governor of South
Yeah,
Carolina. Wild.
right.
Also was the first Indian American to hold office in South Carolina and would credit her interest into joining politics to Hillary Clinton, believe it or not.
Hillary.
She stated hearing Clinton talk about needing more women in office inspired her to run. I find this very interesting as like a talking point, being that she seems very opposed to a lot of the policies that Hillary would have supported.
Yeah.
However, I do admire Haley for not taking like the typical like Hillary is bad because Republicans say so line.
Right.
Which is kind of like a common theme in her ideology, I guess, is that she's very like, I don't know, she's very like moderate Republican in the sense that she's like, we just need to get along.
Totally.
You know? Like,
yeah.
why don't Democrats and Republicans sit down and have a beer together, you know? She's one of them. Yeah, so just kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
When she was the governor and representative of South Carolina, she had some rather interesting policies that I think are worth going over when considering her for your next presidential election. She was, as most Republicans are, in favor of lowering taxes, which I do agree with in a lot of ways. However, one decision she made was rather interesting. Phoebe, how do you feel about supporting programs that help people stop smoking and furthering cancer research?
I think that sounds like a good thing.
Yeah, I feel like most people would be like, that's nice.
Yeah.
Well, Nikki Haley thought that imposing a raised tax on cigarettes to fund those things was a bad idea because it would encroach on our right to destroy our lungs.
Our right to suck down those cancer sticks.
It's true. Again, I respect the principle of not wanting to raise taxes, but I think the general idea of taxes isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
More so just that, like, what modern America spends taxes on.
Right. And it's like, yes, people absolutely should have the freedom to smoke a cigarette if they want to. And they do still. However, I think that taxing something that is like literal poison and, you know, that we were lied to about for years. And then now we're all dying of lung cancer.
Yeah.
Like, just like you could tax alcohol more. I don't give a fuck. They're taxing marijuana through the goddamn roof, and God knows marijuana is like has zero health causes, zero health
consequences.
Things. Thank you. Yeah, that's the word. Jesus Christ.
No, for sure, and that's what I think is funny about it, is it's like you have other drugs that are literally illegal to have.
Yeah,
but like you like won't put a tax on or on fucking cigarettes. You know,
right?
I don't know. She also implemented a plan to base teachers' salaries off of performance evaluations and notes from principals, parents, and students. I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing, but also holding someone's livelihood on the account or on account of reviews from other people seems a little iffy to me. I don't know. I feel like that one's like a tricky one because like I get you want to get like a full picture of like the teacher themselves, you know, but also it's like I don't know. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
She supports immigration laws and supported a bill that would require employers to prove that employees are legally in the country, which is very cool. This is pretty on par for most Republicans and is evil on its own.
Yeah.
But she also wanted to make it mandatory for immigrants to carry documents on them at all times, proving that they had the legal right to be in the country. Which is, how do you feel about that one?
Oh, no. Oh, no. That's, feels like we've been there before.
Yeah.
So, yikes.
I don't know if the idea was for it to be like a card of some kind that the person would keep on them, but not only is that like fucking insane and silly, but also giving police and ICE like a reason to search more people to see if they have immigration documents.
Any singular fucking not white person that they see and just harass them and be like,
exactly. Oh, and then not only that, but it's like, I don't know, like how many times have you fucking forgot your license at home or like your card or something, like, and then like the minute you don't have it on you, it's like, a detention center for you.
Yeah.
It's no, bad idea. Yeah, seems like a slippery slope. She was the pioneer of a crackdown on immigration, similar to what we saw in Arizona, that actually led to her and the state of led her and the state of South Carolina into a lawsuit over the issue because it was like hella unconstitutional. Excuse me. Mrs. Haley is, of course, very pro-life.
Oh.
Here's a quote from her herself.
Oh, good. I can't wait.
I'm pro-life because the Republican, or sorry. I'm not pro-life because the Republican Party tells me. I'm pro-life because all of us have had experiences of what it means to have one of these special little ones in our life.
Ew.
Yeah, kind of weird. Again, that's like again, she's like kind of like she's being like very not like, I don't follow the Republican Party line, you know?
Except for, like, you do.
Except you do on, like, almost everything.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, yeah, I enjoy other people's kids. I have had a special little one in my life that's not my own.
But I don't want to have one.
Yeah, because if I had a special little one in my life, it would be unhappy because I would not be a good mother.
And it's just like with any politician and really just anybody who's pro-life, like you can't even have like a serious discussion with them because they just like immediately pull the like, you're murdering children.
The children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't reason with fucking anybody who's pro-life.
No.
In 2016, she re-signed a law that prohibits abortions past 20 weeks. Which I guess is better than most or some places, but still not ideal, obviously.
Right? Isn't that like, that's what we're grasping at now, though, is it's like, oh, well, they didn't do 6, so that's something.
That's something, yeah. It's like, oh my God. As governor of South Carolina, she also had some interesting things to say. So this is moving into her governor days. She was very much trying to support businesses to move their operations to South Carolina, you know, stimulate the economy and all that jazz. But she had some choice words to say about it, which I'm going to read to you. This is a quote. What I'm saying is, if you come to South Carolina, the cost of doing business is going to be low here. We are going to make sure that you have a loyal, willing workforce, and we are going to be one of the lowest union participation states in the country.
Oh, good. Good.
You know all those gross workers who want rights?
Yeah.
That's not South Carolina, baby. We want to work. We want to work 10-hour days and not be able to feed ourselves and die in the mines.
Yeah. In the knife factory where you have to put knives you have to sharpen knives by hand, and then to send it to the next assembly line, you have to throw it through the air.
It's true. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if she was like, you know what? 7-year-olds, get them working.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, and that is a whole thing that's fucking happening
actually
too.
Fucking happening.
Yeah. Can you believe?
I'm so shook by that, dude.
Oh my God.
It's insane to me that like, like I feel like I was talking about it with someone, but I was like, there were people, there were union members and people on strike in the 1920s who were in gun battles with like the mining company's private police force to get you the right to have 40-hour work days and for children to not work in factories.
Yes.
And
for a little 4-year-old to not have to crawl into the toxic mine.
And we're just hitting the point now where everybody's like, you know what? Yeah, you're 11. Get to work.
Children want to work.
Children
like it.
They enjoy the work.
You're taking away their right to have a job and work in my factory.
Oh, it's
in my
great.
Toxic chemical factory.
True. Yeah. No. And I mean, and I'm sure that the children's like decaying lungs helps with like the toxins. You know. Like adds to the scent.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
Yeah. It's like that whole thing. And did you ever watch Zoolander? There's
no,
like that
actually.
whole bit in Zoolander where he's like, they do this little video brainwashing Derek, and they're like, the children want to work. It's very funny. It's like, the children were so sad when they couldn't work in the mines anymore.
Which is funny because I know Zoolander is like a completely like satirical thing, and it's like, nope, that's just actually happening now.
Yeah, it's like pretty accurate.
Yeah. very cool to just outwardly state that you don't like unions and frame it like it's a good thing. Before June of 2015, she was in support of flying the Confederate flag at the State House, saying that it was a symbol of heritage, as most supporters of the Confederate flag do.
Yeah.
You know, like the denial that it's like a symbol of slavery and rebellion against, you know, the government.
Exactly.
Which they, I don't know. Anyway. But after the aforementioned Charleston church shooting, she did change her position on that. She didn't call the flag racist or a symbol of tyranny or anything that would be actually like true and making a statement. She just said that it shouldn't be flown outside of the State House anymore because it's doesn't represent everybody it doesn't have a place at the State House, you know. So real progressive stuff, really.
Yeah, very.
Something that was rather progressive was her indicating that she would not be supporting the transgender restroom bill that required a person to use the restroom of the gender that they were assigned at birth. I don't know. This one's kind of a tricky one as well. It seemed like she didn't really feel there was enough of an issue being reported to demand like legislation about the bathrooms. Like that's kind of like her like angle on it was like, I haven't had enough like reports on my desk about trans people being an issue in bathrooms for like me to want to even consider legislation, which again is like not the right reason to do that. Like it's a reason, I guess.
And it's like, well, at least you're not contributing to the problem, I suppose.
Like I'm sure she doesn't support trans people, but I guess in this instance she was on the right side of history, you know.
Right, like accidentally.
She slipped and like fell into being right for once. I'm sure, again, it's no surprise that she supports the ID voting laws that were making their way around a lot of southern states, requiring folks to provide valid IDs when voting, making for kind of like a modern Jim Crow law because there's a plethora of reasons why people don't have IDs. And especially, again, in more impoverished areas, it's harder to come by and it makes people not want to go vote.
Truth.
Initially, Haley was not a Donald Trump fan when he began his political career. She stated she was not a fan, air quotes there, and that his rhetoric could lead to violence.
No shit.
Yeah, crazy. She would eventually vote for him, though, over Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, of course. Which, like, Hill was your fucking girl.
That's what I'm saying. It's weird, huh? She disagreed with his Muslim ban, saying it was un-American in the early days of his presidency. She did, however, warm up to him enough where she opposed his impeachment and is now calling him a friend.
Oh, good.
When pressed about his rhetoric, when pressed about the rhetoric of him losing the election, or like, you know, being defrauded from the election, and destabilizing the system of government in America, she stated, I understand the president. I understand that genuinely, to his core, he believes he was wronged. And it says, like, Haley told me, this is not him making it up. So she thinks that Donald Trump, like, genuinely believed that he was wronged and lost the election, or, you know, was frauded out of the election. Which I think is bullshit. Personally.
Well, it's like, I believe that he thinks he was wronged. I don't think that he thinks that he actually lost the election. I think he was fully aware of what was going on. But I do fully believe that he believes he was wronged.
Yeah, I guess I believe that
that's
too.
That's not really saying anything. Yeah. That's just saying, like, he thinks that he had his feelings hurt. And it's like, yeah, he did. He did. Really hurt. He did have his little feelings hurt.
Yeah,
so
little snowflake feelings. Yeah. One positive thing I believe that she has, or that she has a hand in, is an organization called the Original Six Foundation, which funds after-school programs and education initiatives. Seems to be pretty honest and good-hearted from everything that I can find. I didn't find any big scandals with it. So that's good.
Nice. We like that.
A little sprinkle of niceness for you. But back to some of the terrible things.
Oh, yes.
She pushed SC into joining a lawsuit that was set up by different states to sue the EPA over regulating businesses from polluting and killing the earth so much so that they can make profits every year. So they sued the Environmental Protection Agency
for wanting to protect the environment too hard.
For regulating businesses. Yeah, for being like, hey, can you not dump toxic sludge into this pond and dump fume the fucking atmosphere with gross polluted air?
Oh my god.
And they were like, nope, that's bad.
That's way too much.
You're asking way too much of these businesses.
You are taking away corporations' rights.
It's going to cost them like 1% of their quarterly profits to make those changes.
And that's fucked up. Do you understand? Those corporations have families. Those corporations go home to their families every night. Walmart has a wife and children.
I have 3 kids.
And those wife and children are called fucking Kraft and whatever.
Great Value?
Yeah, Great Value. I was like, whatever, another one of their umbrella corporations.
Well, and so it's that is funny though, because corporations like technically are considered like a person under like legislation. Did you know that? They are like to when you file for like corporate, like to become a corporation, like your entity becomes like a individual, so it has like specific like laws and like personhood and rights and things. Like it's crazy.
No, of course it does.
Yeah, no, it's
like,
wild.
Of course it does. And of course then, small business owners like me get fucked over.
Because you're not a person.
I'm a business. Yeah, I'm a small business.
You're a business, but you're not
Walmart, multi-billion-dollar corporation with millions of employees. Yeah, no, that's a singular person.
Yeah, that's an entity that deserves to be a person.
Every day I learn something new that makes me want to peel my own eyelid skin off.
Yeah, no, I get that. Well, and see, Phoebe, you're just missing the real point here, which is that Walmart has money,
right?
Lots of it,
yeah,
and therefore can pay to be a person,
right?
Whereas you don't have that much money,
yeah,
and so you don't get to be a person,
yeah, and and that's right, and I get that.
You get like putting it that way,
yeah. Now I understand.
Yeah, no, for sure. To finish it up here, in addition to all those things, she does have a video of her claiming that the southern states have a constitutional right to secede, like what happened in the Civil War, which is simply just not true. Like
what?
I don't know. There was like a video she posted on Twitter or something, or that was going around where she was like, it's a constitutional right to secede, which first off, I believe that it's the Declaration of Independence that first off says that you can like get a new government if yours is corrupt. And even that isn't like you can just break off from the government. It's like you reform the government.
Yeah.
If you don't like, it's like, it's a whole thing. But anyway, yeah, people were blasting her for that. She also opposed the
South
opposes.
has a right to rise again.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, no, you're impeding on the South's right to rise again and re-implement slavery, obviously. She also opposes expanding Medicare and kept South Carolina from allowing the expansion of Medicaid for people. She was one of 11 states that did not allow this change. So, again, really just good things happening.
Yeah, getting him with the health care.
Yeah. She also believes that corporations and large businesses should have to pay no income tax to bolster the economy, which again is simply not a bad idea. I don't think that I have to explain to anyone how like trickle down economics doesn't work. Reaganomics is bad. Don't try it. It's not good. It's led us to where we're at now.
Oh, okay. I'm fine. I'm good.
Many people are predicting that her constant swapping back and forth on the topic of Donald Trump, as well as his campaign for re-election, may be the downfall of her run for the presidency. And many don't know how she is going to navigate this campaign while trying to stay on good terms with the notoriously politically aggressive Donald Trump, who would like call, again, like people that were on the same side as him, like weird names and stuff.
Yeah.
Which it was really funny when he was like making fun of fucking like Ted Cruz being sweaty and shit.
Yeah, that was really funny.
He is really sweaty. But so is Donald Trump. So I don't know where he gets off, but Ted Cruz is like a fountain of moisture.
My God, that man. It's yeah. He's just like a snail. He leaves just a trail behind him.
Yeah, no, for sure. I refuse to believe that Ted Cruz's wife has ever touched him.
No.
Nah, not once.
She would just slip right off.
She can't even. It's like, whoop.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
And the thing is with the whole Trump thing, I feel like as a Republican, you have to either be all in or all out. Because there's you either are getting in with the Republican crowd that is pro-Trump or the Republican crowd that is like sick of Trump at this point, and you can't like flip-flop back and forth because then they're going to be unsatisfied because it's going to be like, well, you question Trump on this thing, and they're
Yeah, and she like is trying to do this whole like not she's like we need a new generation of politics, you know. And like I think she's like
different Republican.
Which is funny cuz I think she's like in her late 40s or early 50s. And it's like, okay, yeah, you're not 70 years old like everybody else, but you're not like exactly the young crowd either, Nikki Haley.
Right.
Like
perhaps you're not petering on the edge of death, but
yeah, exactly. Like it's like an Elizabeth Warren type, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of like her whole thing, which again is going to be, it's hard to get like a solid base when you're not like on either side, you know? Mm-hmm. Which again, that's just dumb political talk because no one should vote for her, but.
No, but you know.
And the cherry on top of this shitty ice cream sundae that is Nikki Haley's campaign. She tweeted recently that COVID-19 was probably made in a Chinese laboratory.
Oh my fucking
and that she plans to cut funding and aid to communist China if elected. So that's cool that she's spreading conspiracy theories and anti-Chinese rhetoric on Twitter.
Back at it.
Yeah.
Back at it. That's good.
Very cool.
That is like 3 years old, girl. Come on.
Yeah,
Come
like,
up with some new fresh hot.
That's what I'm saying. Like, at least make your hot takes like new and interesting.
Yeah,
like,
instead of just like, China did the pandemic.
Yeah,
we know.
I've seen the COVID-19 conspiracies.
Yeah,
I've seen the JFK. I've seen the 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Like, make a cool conspiracy.
Yeah, give me a new one. Like we know the vaccine shit. Like this is old by now. I'm tired of it. Like give me something new and spicy.
Tell me a conspiracy that Joe Biden has an ice cream fetish and fucks ice cream. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to look at. Google Joe Biden ice cream.
Clearly,
Phoebe found that shit.
The man is
he's in love with it. I would listen to someone who was telling me about Joe Biden wanting to have incredibly aggressive coitus with an ice cream
he's
cone.
Giving in the pictures, he's giving the sloppy toppy to that fucking vanilla swirl
he's
cone.
Nancy Reagan in that fucking that fucking ice cream cone. Oh yes. Like make something interesting for once,
I'm so tired. I'm bored. I'm bored.
Bored of your conspiracy theories like New World Order, the Illuminati. Yeah. Oh, the woke mob is controlling the world. It's like, come on. Yeah.
Woke mind virus.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
boring. Snooze alert.
The Earth is
fucking
flat.
Alex Jones already did it 14 episodes ago.
Yeah, like, do something that Alex Jones hasn't talked about 30 times
Which
already.
I realize is difficult because he pumps out like 18 episodes a day.
I don't understand how that man is like still alive, honestly.
He is on the most insane cocktail of drugs known to man.
He's got to be, it's got to be like speed, cocaine,
steroids.
Steroids. I mean, at least like a gallon of alcohol a day.
Oh, for sure. And then like 47 energy drinks first thing in the morning. He's drinking like 47 bangs one after another, shotgunning bang.
And then a Cuban cigar for like dinner, you know?
Fucking hell. And a flank steak. A full flank steak.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that man, I'm so scared for him.
Oh, yeah.
I'm worried about his health. I would love just to break HIPAA once and find Alex Jones like medical records because I am like, is he okay?
Like what
he
is
looks
he
like
on?
how is he being held together?
Yeah, like his face is like tomato red.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Like he like works himself up just talking.
Yes.
To the point where he needs like a towel to like dry off, you know?
No, like I worry about him.
Oh man. Well, that's all I got on Nikki Haley.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. Beautifully done.
Truly.
Yeah,
truly.
lovely. Exciting stuff coming up for us in this country,
We're really excited. Again, it's sad that Joe Bisley is truly our best option.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, do we have any other Democratic
nominees?
at this point?
No, I don't think so, and I
think so
honestly
either.
don't think we will, because usually if like the Democrats or like whichever party has the nomination, like they won't, because like you didn't see any like Republicans running like when Trump was out of office, because like no one wants to go and oppose the current standing president.
Yeah, fair enough.
On like the same party.
Right.
There might be some independents that run though. That'd be interesting.
True. That's something to look forward to, I guess.
I don't know and they never win.
No, they don't. No.
It's unfortunate because again, I feel like we could do for some change, but
yeah,
I just don't think that there's enough people that know about them, and they don't have like the same oomph as like the big two. Exactly.
It would have to be a real push to make any of that happen. So
yeah, no, it's crazy.
So but whatever. Elections are fake. It doesn't matter anyway. This two-party system is really the one-party system, and everybody sucks. Bullshit. And I hate everything. So
same. Anyway,
you can follow our Instagram at Remarks Podcast. Look at some pictures. Leave us some comments, maybe.
That would be cool.
That could be a fun thing.
Leave a comment. We also have a Twitter.
We do.
Twitter.com. It's at RemarksPod. Apple Podcasts.
Leave us a review.
Jinx, 1 of those out of 10.
I just don't talk for the rest of the episode. You just jinxed me on our own podcast, and then I can't talk.
You just owe me a soda, obviously. You can check out my personal music if you'd like. It is Taylor Lacey, and my personal Twitter is at Vegetable Trash.
You can check out my personal Twitter as well, which is at Phoebes Elise. I'm pretty funny on there. Twitter is really gone down the drain. It was like holding on for a while, and I was still having fun. And now with the For You and the following thing, it's just
bad.
like I hate it.
It's not good.
Fucking hate it. Yeah. So I don't know. I was actually thinking recently, like maybe I'll just add. I don't even need to be talking about this, but whatever. Maybe I'll just add all the people that like follow me on Twitter onto my like close friends on Instagram, and just start doing my Twitter on my close friends.
You might as well,
because it just feels. Anyway.
And I think that's it. Oh, Patreon. You can become a patron.
You can. If you feel like laughing instead of crying, you can go check out our Patreon. If you like our banter, but you would like to hear, funnier things. But shout out and thank you to our patrons. Tere Soltero.
Justin Vass.
Andrew Vass.
Sorry. We're actively pulling up them. We have, you said Andrew Vass, Emily Doran,
and Jameson Cherry,
and our newest patron, Eden.
Aww, so near and dear to our hearts.
Very much so.
Guys, that's so nice of you all to give us $5 of your money.
True.
That's like unbelievably kind and wholesome and sweet of you, and I want to give you each a little tender, tiny little kiss on the forehead.
True. We'll be making shirts soon.
Yes.
And patrons get first dibs. So
shirts.
You get early merch drop. You're the first one to know.
Mm-hmm.
So we love you.
We love you. Anyway, folks, thanks for listening, and K love you. Bye.